Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about Andor episode 9, or sorry, episode 7. I'm like 2 episodes soon than expected, but Andor episode 9, the announcement, or it's just called announcement. And the Disney Plus description of this episode says the repercussions of the Aldahani heist reached all the way to Coruscant, while Cassian returns home. And yes, Cassian does return home to Ferrix. He initially goes to his mother figure, the person who essentially rescued him on his home world. Say, I got the credits, you can come with me if you want. I got the credits, it's time for us to go. And they have this little disagreement where the woman says she's staying because rebellion, and it's her time to make her ground, like stand her ground and stay there. And that she's old, she doesn't care if she dies. That Andor's path is going on a different path. And yeah, we get more of Ultron. I was hoping that we would get the dinner scene, because that was like mentioned, I want to say, within the first 4 episodes, but we never got it, right? Which then we get Vale, which I think is the girl who was supposed to be the boss for the heist story arc for this series. She meets with this woman who I honestly thought at first might have been an Imperial. I thought she was a secret Imperial. And then I thought, what if this is Andor's sister? I thought that too. So it appears to be I was wrong with both accounts, because this woman is part of the rebellion. And so this woman tells Fel, go find Glenn, who is really Cassian Andor, and kill him. And you think like Skeen is like the only one you had to worry about, pretty much? No. Andor's too dangerous having Skeen in his head. Go find that bastard. And then we don't see her again for the rest of the episode. Excuse me. And then we see Andor, not Andor, sorry. We see Coruscant, and I'm digging how much Coruscant, we get in this episode. We get the Imperials' reaction to what happened on Aldhani. Was pretty much them beefing up security and stuff like that. The one woman, Imperial woman, that we keep on focusing on, she gets the black guy's sector because she's really interested in his sector. And we get Mon Mothma throwing this house party, right? And we get like her talking to this guy that she knew, the senator that she knows. And she initially says that I need your help. I need you to get the funds for me, for my family's bank, because I like, from what I gathered from the conversation, she can't dig into her family funds without somebody get suspicious of her. And so she asks for his help to fund essentially what is the rebellion, but she doesn't tell him that it's the rebellion. She just keeps it a secret. And we also get Luthen and Mon Mothma earlier in the episode talking, and she asks Luthen if he had something to do with what happened on Donnie. And he, in the end, admits it. In the end, he admits it. And Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Sorry, jump cut. My laptop was acting weird. Anywho, anywho, and so like Mon Mothma leaves, and it was essentially the next time we see Mon Mothma was at this dinner party that she hosts at her house. And then I liked what we got in here. We get Emperor Palpatine's name in here, and how he's gonna think or make a speech, potentially hinting at that we're gonna see him in a future episode, maybe episode 8. Who knows? I mean, I know the showrunners for this, for Andor, were saying they won't have any appearances as a cameo. If they're going to have an appearance, uh it's going to be more than just cameo. It's going to be significant to the story. So it won't be kind of like, in a way, Vader hallway scene at the end of the Rogue One. And I'm referencing that because that particular scene, from what I've heard, was thrown together at last minute. Darth Vader, I hate to say it, even though he was great being seen in the film, was great hearing James Earl Jones' voice. He doesn't, like, I feel like the main reason why he was in the show was for a cameo. For fans, people like me saying, "Oh snap, that's Darth Vader," and then seeing his hallway scene towards the end and making us go like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." Which there's nothing bad with it. I'm not saying there's anything bad to it. I'm just saying that, hey, they're just not doing cameos for having legacy characters just as cameos. We all know that Saul Guerrero is going to be in this show, and the first time we saw Saul Guerrero was technically in the Clone Wars, but his live action debut was in Rogue One. So I just appreciate like how like the point I'm driving home with this is that I'm just happy that they aren't going to try to rely on Star Wars legacy characters or Disney Star Wars legacy characters, and like just to wield people in the show. They are focused on storytelling, and the legacy characters, whether it's like George Lucas era or the Disney era, they aren't really going to use that as a crutch, and I can respect that. And so, long story short, I think that was a tease that we were going to get. Not Hayden Christensen, Emmett Kermit, I think is the name. I think we're going to get him reprising the role of Darth Sidious yet again in Rogue One. Not Rogue One, sorry. Andor. And I kind of say yet again because we all know he was the Emperor in the special editions for Empire Strikes Back, and then the original version of Return of the Jedi, the prequels as well. But he recently reprised his role as Palpatine in the Kenobi show, towards the end of the Kenobi show. And so I will be very excited, or not, I should say excited, but very interested in how they're going to use Palpatine if he's going to be in the show. So I'll be looking forward to that. I like this action. Sure, it didn't really have any per se action, but it was very interesting nonetheless. And I did like how like I was mentioning how I was enjoying the no flashbacks, like in terms of like what I meant by that, like because I forget if I said this on Tim's Talks channel, which you guys should totally subscribe to him. I'll have the link to his channel in the description of this video, which you guys should totally sub to him. But I forget if I said this on Tim's Talks channel or on one of my reviews on like the past 6 episodes. But the reason why I'm saying I'm happy that we aren't getting that many flashbacks is because, and this is not a knock towards any show that uses flashbacks, but kind of like shows with like Arrow for the most part, like with the exception of like season 5 and I'm sorry, season 6 I want to say, and like half of season 8. It was like we got the show where I want to say like half of each episode at least, if not a. There was a pretty decent chunk of each episode in Arrow where we got flashbacks, and there's nothing wrong with flashbacks. Just I will be okay with them with shows that are using flashbacks in every single episode. And I'm not talking this TV show Arrow out because I really enjoy Arrow. It's just I've seen other shows do that too, using flashbacks in a lot of its previous episodes, and like in their episodes. And nothing wrong with flashbacks. Just sometimes the flashbacks can get overbearing, if that makes sense. So I was happy that we got a break with the flashbacks the last 3 episodes. Coming into this episode, I did like the use of the flashbacks though, because it was like this episode was 52 minutes long, the second longest running episode. Episode 6 was the first. And we see young Cassian Andor. Like he is like not him as a kid, but Andor as like a young adult, like teenager, young adult. And we see clone troopers, or maybe stormtroopers in clone trooper armor. But I'm guessing I'm going to go with them being clone troopers. And they execute a mentor of Andor, and then we get the next time we see him, he's running towards the group of clone troopers, attacking them. And I enjoyed that. It was like quick, simple, easy, 5 seconds, about like 5 minutes, I should say. And I dug that. I really did. So that was cool. So far I dug this episode the most. I know, like, I've been hearing that this show, out of all the Star Wars shows, has been doing not so hot. And that's sad too. That's sad because this show is the best show since Mandalorian. I would say that. Because Mandalorian was surprisingly good. I admittedly did not have the high expectations of Mandalorian. And it exceeded my expectations in both seasons. Granted that season 2 was cameos, but still, exceeded my expectations. Clone Wars season 7 was great, in my opinion. Kenobi it could have been better. I forgot what shows came out during the Disney era. And Resistance could have been way better. I'm looking at oh, and Book of Boba. Book of Boba, before Andor came out, I would have had to say would have been the 3rd best Star Wars show on Disney Plus. Because I would have ranked it Mandalorian, Clone Wars Season 7, then Book of Boba. those would have been my three. I'm sorry. I forgot about Visions. So it would be Mandalorian, Clone Wars Season 7, Visions, Rebels, Kenobi, actually no, Book of Boba then Kenobi, for me. But Andor comes in, essentially ties with Mandalorian for the best Disney plus Star Wars show. In my opinion. If you guys feel differently, you guys are more than welcome to feel differently. But that's my ranking. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched Andor yet, I do suggest you guys doing it, because if it sure is a bit heavier than what we're used to from Star Wars. I mean, I think the heaviest thing that we got from Star Wars, George Lucas era or Disney era, Lucas era, has to be Revenge of the Sith, probably. I know some people will say Rogue One because everyone dies at the end, but I would have to say Rogue One, not Rogue One. Revenge of the Sith is the darkest Star Wars movie. So yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I do recommend you guys watching this show because I think it's worth it. It's a pretty good show. It might be slow for the most part so far, but there is some action scenes, and I think the slow parts are totally worth going through, because they just make the action stuff when the show speeds up, it makes those times more special, or more like enjoyable, if that's even a word, or more entertaining, if that makes sense. Because you get the build up, and then when the action scene kicks in, it's like, yeah, okay, I can get behind this. But anywho, and in this episode, we see Andor going to this planet, and he's just passing by, and we see him get arrested by. We see a few, and I had to look up this model because I only know the name of the robot that was with Cassian in Rogue One, which was K2SO, but he is but the Imperial security droids, which is what K2SO is, was in this episode. And I did hear that we're going to see in this series, more so in Season 2 than Season 1, just how Andor and K2SO will meet, and how, like, K2 gets reprogrammed, which is what he was in Rogue One. And so I'm very much interested in finding that out. But anywho, what do you guys think about this episode? I've been talking a lot. I've been talking more than enough. What do you guys think of this episode? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And may the force be with us all. Later, taters.